Day, everyone. It's Amanda here with your February 2018 RuneScope. This month, I will be using a new deck that I got over the holidays from my sister, the Wonderland Tarot, which I've been wanting for a really long time. It's by Chris Abbey and Morgana Abbey. I love it. So we'll be using that in conjunction with the runes for your reading this month. If you're new to my channel, welcome. Thank you so much for stopping by. Please do click the subscribe button if you find that I'm connecting with your energy and the messages that are coming through are resonating with you. That way, whenever I upload my new videos, they will go to your subscription feed. You can also tap the little bell to set up alerts if you would like to be alerted whenever I upload new content. Be sure to join me for part 2 of this video over on my Vimeo channel. I will be pulling one card from Nature's Whispers Oracle cards by Angela Hartfield and Josephine Wall for your spiritual guidance. Also, it's Valentine's Day, so your 2018 love readings are also over there for you to check out. I did use a deck that does contain nudity and sexual situations, though, for those readings. So heads up, for those of you that that's not your thing, you may just want to listen to the audio on that and maybe not look too closely at the pictures. So I've been looking for years for a good love-based deck, and I don't know, they're all just a little fluffy puffy for me. I haven't really found one that I connect with. If you want to recommend one, please leave it in the comments. That would help me out. I will check those out. Maybe you could help me on my search. So yeah, that's over there. Also, your 2018 career and finance RuneScope is over there too, on Vimeo, to give you a more specific look at that area of life for you in 2018. But all of that being said, let's jump into your February RuneScope. Happy birthday, Aquarians! Welcome to your February 2018 RuneScope. Let's jump in and see, first of all, which runes want to talk to you guys and gals about February. We've got Venus here overseeing things. No. All right. Come on, guys. Which ones? There it is. As always, Aquarius, keep in mind, these are general readings. So that means I'm going to be connecting with a lot of different Aquarians that are watching these videos. So some of these messages are going to be for them, but hopefully some will be for you as well. You can also check out the video for your rising sign as well to get additional messages and information about what's going to be going on for you during the month of February. If you would like something far more specific, the only way I can connect with your energy alone is if you schedule a private consultation with me. I do those on Skype. I'm offering the 30 minutes for $70. Those are always available, but I will also have the special 1-hour New Year's sessions available through February 28th. Those are $130. I just can't do those all the time. They're a little too draining. I love doing them, but it's like, yeah, I do two in one day, and I just have to recharge. So, totally exhausted. So, yeah, get those while they're hot if you want to set that up. The New Year's reading is done just like the overview that I posted for 2018 here on YouTube. It's 2 separate readings for the first part and the second part of the year. 2 separate readings for you to benefit from. But let's see here. For February, that's what we're focusing on right now. Well, challenge or focus is the Emperor in reverse. So, this is usually a person. And unfortunately, in the reverse, he can be a, I mean, in the reverse, the Emperor is the card of the tyrant, the dictator. You know, he gives a lot of orders and a lot of rules. He loves rules. He loves giving orders, telling people what to do, what not to do. But he doesn't follow it. The rules don't apply to him. He just wants to tell other people what to do. So this could be a boss. It could be somebody you're having to work with. And, you know, now the full force of this is not going to manifest for all of you. I mean, at the echelon, like the highest of the high, this would be like the card for Hitler or someone like that, right? So, but I mean, there could be like in a diluted form or just like someone you have to deal with that is, yeah, it's okay for them to break the rules, but you have to do this, this, and this, and this. This could also be like an authoritarian bureaucratic organization, like a, some sort of office or some sort of, that you have to do these steps. And this just may be the person that you're dealing with, and maybe they're just not the nicest, person. Not the easiest energy to get along with. Now, this can also be the emotionally unavailable father, husband, lover, boyfriend. It could be a woman too, but I mean the Emperor, because it's a general reading, but I think for the majority of you, this is a male. Either an absent or emotionally absent father figure. So that's coming up as the challenge. Maybe you are, but I mean, what's coming up next to it are some really excellent runes. A rune of joy and new beginnings, and a freeze on old behaviors, old patterns. So for some of you, you may have stopped talking to your dad or had an argument, or you're like, you know, you're not gonna, maybe you've been estranged for a while. And the challenge is to find a new way forward. The challenge is to maybe reunite and find a new way forward with this person. Because Wunyo and Keynes is indicating, like, you know, there can be a new start filled with joy. And, you know, maybe the challenge is getting this, because sometimes this can come along with mental illness or a disorder or something that's causing the behavior. So yeah, maybe this is like getting someone to recognize, you know, this is a problem and you need to deal with it, and you're not dealing with it in the healthiest way. You're not dealing with it in the appropriate way. You need to get help with this. This can also be somebody who has anger management issues. He can be an abuser too. I mean, you know, in any form. But I mean, with the runes coming up here, so it seems like something has already happened earlier or last year with this person, or, you know, and that caused an estrangement, and now you're kind of trying to, the challenge is to figure out how to pick up the pieces. Or for some of you, maybe this person's passed away and you're realizing, I still have issues with this and I need to work through this. It's affecting me. How do I, you know, how can I get some tools to deal with this? And work through this. And with these runes, I mean, it indicates that a wonderful new beginning and joy can be yours if you do kind of take on a new approach or look at this in a new way, or maybe try to get to the bottom of it. Now for others of you where it's like a bureaucratic organization or a boss or whatever, this could be like a boss getting someone fired. Like your challenge could be like, maybe you're reporting this person for inappropriate behavior, for not following the rules. Because again, he gives orders, he doesn't follow them. He tells you the rules, he doesn't. So yes, this, because this indicates a separation, a break. Now, it doesn't have to be you reporting this person, Aquarius. I mean, it could be somebody else reporting this person's behavior, or maybe it's all of you coming together to report this person. Now, for others of you, if it's like, yeah, like getting a visa or a green card or some kind of, again, bureaucratic red tape, and this is just the person you're dealing with at the office, you know, he could just be nasty and you know, you have to deal with him to make this happen. But the good news is you're going to handle it. Maybe it's like you come in, you're trying to get a license or a visa or, you know, something at the office that you have to turn in this paperwork or whatever, and you're supposed to bring so many things and you don't bring it, and he sends you home, and angry because he was so nasty, and but I mean, and maybe you don't want to go back, but you do, and you know, maybe the second time you won't get this person. I don't feel, if that's how it's working out, I'm seeing you like, ooh, you did it yucky first time, and then if you have to go back, you'll have the good person or the nicer person. So if the challenge is just going in and dealing with this person in order to get a result that will make you very happy, or to get something that you need in order to stay in the country you're in, or to go to the country that you want to go to, or go study where you want to study, it's going to be worth it, because it's like, oh, I had to deal with that jerk, but at least I was able to go back and get my visa, or get my passport, or whatever it is that you're needing to do. Some of you may be reporting the person at this office to a higher level, and, you know, getting them held accountable for their behavior, and they may get fired. So, Aquarius, interesting challenge. Let's move on and see how this kind of works out. We got the Nine of Hats, which in this deck is the Cups. It's in reverse, but that's still a good card. This is the present energy, end of January, moving into February. Yeah, it's just an old pattern that's repeating. Again, it could be going back to this person, or your family is repeating the same mistakes, the same patterns, or you're not wanting to do that. Maybe you feel like, again, if maybe, you know, this guy has passed on, your dad, or a father figure, and you're feeling like, I'm repeating these patterns with my own kids, or I want to make sure that I don't repeat this pattern, but I don't know how to make sure that doesn't happen. There's something with specifically family and repeating old hurts, old abuse, and old patterns. And you maybe thought you were past something, or you thought something was done, and it's not. With the Nine of Cups in reverse, unfortunately, it hasn't turned out how you would like yet. But again, it's early on in the month with this position. So, but yeah, this rune is saying there's someone needs to change their own patterns. You may need to change your patterns in order to break the cycle. But unfortunately, this rune in reverse is saying someone is being stubborn. Like, again, this guy he doesn't admit that he is wrong. Okay? He's never wrong. You're wrong. So it's very difficult to get someone like that to see, you know what? No, you're wrong. And you're the problem. You are the problem. Once anybody acknowledges that, yes, that, you know, I am the problem, or I'm seeing those, you know, I'm manifesting those same behaviors, and I don't want that. I mean, admission is the first thing, the first step, right? Because then you can kind of figure out how to work on it. But somebody who's not going to even own up to their bad behavior, or like what's going on, there's not much you can do about it. You can't make other people wake up about who they are. You can try, but a lot of times people will go through the motions, but again, this person's not even going to go through the motions. And Aquarius, yeah, this could be you. I mean, you are a fixed sign. Maybe it's you're refusing to see, oh my God, I'm acting just like my dad, or you know, because you start seeing those things kind of come out as you get older, and especially when you are a parent yourself, that's when it can manifest, and you can be, ew, I can't believe I just said that. It sounded just like, or that's just what my dad or my mom used to say, and I don't want to be like that. So, again, yeah, admitting, recognizing it. And if you can't fix it or correct the behavior yourself, I mean, there's no shame in getting help with that. But I feel like for most of you, this is someone you have to deal with. And there's been some issues, old patterns cropping up. The help that's going to be available, we have the Six of Peppermills, which is the Six of Rods in this deck, in reverse. So, let's see. Well, it's going to help you to not reward bad behavior. And I don't, it's almost like training a dog. I just saw someone like giving someone a dog treat. Maybe you are dealing with a dog. Maybe you've rescued a dog that came from an abusive place. And, or you're working with, maybe that's your job. You work in a shelter, or you work at the vet's office, and you're working somewhere where you're dealing with an abused animal. They were, you know, they're now separated from this energy, but now, you know, they've got to learn new patterns, learn to trust again, you know, get past these things. So, so yeah, I mean, it could be a dog or an animal. An abused animal that you're working with. Don't give up. The thing is, yeah, just don't reward the bad behavior. That's all the key. And it's going to be the same with humans. Don't let people get away with treating you the way that you don't want to, not only the way you don't want to be treated, but also in an abusive or detrimental way. You know, when you grow up in a pattern of abuse like that, or a cycle of abuse, that seems normal to you. And it sometimes takes many, many years before you realize, oh, I just thought that was normal. But, it, you know, I thought everybody lived like that, or everybody's house is that way. You know, so there's some sort of awakening going on here, Aquarius. And there's a need for some of you. Some of you, I think, realize it. Others of you, I mean, you're starting to, but I mean, it may be... You know, I have to show people how to treat me, and I am, you know, and I feel like if you stand up for yourself, some of you maybe for the first time, at least with a certain person, maybe with this person, you stand up for yourself for the first time and maybe speak some truths, that there could be a new way forward with this, because I really think that you may just surprise, and somebody needs to be surprised and kind of shocked out of their socks. You know, about the way they've been treating you, and that it's not cool. And there needs to be, things need to change. And this is someone close to you. So it could be, and now I've got the rune for mother coming up. It could be mom, it could be grandma, it could be an older sister for some of you, but... And some of you may be also just kind of talking to your mom about this, especially if it, you know, had to do with your dad. You may be talking to your mom about it. And, you know, maybe it's something you never spoke about. And this gives you some real insight. But for many of you, it could be your mom you need to stand up to and say, this treatment is not okay, you know? You need to give me some sort of reward for the efforts I've put in to this relationship, or, you know, there needs to be some sort of exchange, not just a one-sided thing. Another way this is working out is like anything that seems like a loss, or like you're missing out on something, or maybe you have that fear of missing out. I'm afraid that if I don't do this, or if I'm not, you know, I'm afraid if I don't go to every place and I'm there for everybody and I am, you know, everything to everyone, I'll miss out on something. You know, but any loss or anything that you feel like is a loss is actually because there's something else meant for you. Because Bjork talks about new beginnings. For some of you, and this may be very specific to one or two of you, there could have been a miscarried or terminated pregnancy, and that soul is going to be coming back. Maybe not for all of you in February, but I mean, this is a rune of fertility. So, and I mean, if it does happen in February, that there's a miscarriage or a pregnancy that's terminated, this soul will come back. Or it will be available to come back. So, because often, I mean, I see that a lot in personal readings, especially, that miscarriages or terminated pregnancies are like, there's something that soul's, you know, either for, it's almost like, oh, wait, I forgot something. I got to go back and I'll be back. I'll be right back. It's almost like what they're, you know, I'll come back later, but I forgot, or I need to reconsider something about what I'm going to learn while I'm here. So I need to go reassess some things and tweak some things. But what must be accepted here about the month of February? You got the Hanged Man, which is a period of limbo, suspension, to do with communication. So yeah, and you have Esau here. There's someone you're not speaking to, someone you're kind of on the outs with about their bad behavior. Again, your challenge is to turn that situation around, turn that dynamic around, no matter whether it's you or someone else. Figure out what the root of the problem is so that you can move beyond this. But Ansus is here in reverse. And so this could be someone giving you biased advice. This could be like, some of you may be taking a break from the internet. Maybe some of this happened on the internet, or for some of you it was on like social media or email, and so you just turn off the computer. You're like, I'm done. I'm not going to get on there. I'm taking a break. I'm taking a hiatus. I'm taking a suspension. I'm suspending myself from Facebook, or I'm suspending myself from Twitter because I'm just sick of this drama. But yeah, the Hanged Man can also talk about just seeing something from someone else's perspective or in a new way. And if this is coming up as biased advice, you may need to take that and, you know, and filter it through who it's coming from. This could also be just somebody communicating with you in a way that is all about them and their viewpoint and not considering yours at all. And the Hanged Man is all about putting yourself in someone else's shoes. Okay, well, what I just said, how would that sound if I was over there? Someone either needs to do that, and it could be you, Aquarius, but I feel like for many of you, it's this Emperor. Now, he could be an Aries too. The sign of Aries is associated with that. Not always though. This could be anybody just displaying and distributing, I guess, those traits. Someone needs to see something from someone else's point of view, or they need to just take a timeout or be put in a timeout. You know, adults need timeouts too. Sometimes you got to put adults in timeout. You know, you're misbehaving. I'm not talking to you till you shape up. So, again, hold people accountable for how they treat you. If they're not treating, you know, it's up to you to let people know how they can treat you. And I feel like this is a month of maybe, correcting. Maybe you've let people get away with treating you in a way that you don't want to be treated, particularly with family or your children even, Aquarius, because this is with the rune of motherhood here. Yeah, it could be your authority figures, or you as the authority figure, or your husband or your wife as the authority figure, and it's like the whole dynamic. It's affecting more than just you, I feel. Now the outcome, we've got the King of Hats in reverse. So this is a water sign energy, Pisces, Scorpio, or Cancer in the reverse. Next to Othilla. So for some of you, I do feel like these are one and the same. As I was saying, this doesn't have to be an Aries, because this guy is a Pisces, Scorpio, or Cancer. He's a water sign. In the reverse, it could be somebody who has a drinking problem, an alcohol problem, who has or had an alcohol problem, or bouts of depression, very low self-esteem, it could be somebody acting out from wounds that they have or that they inherited. Because again, Othilla is about family, but it's also about inherited traits or older relatives, things passed down from generation to generation. So yeah, a lot of family stuff. And I think that this is more than one person, even for some of you, and more than one issue, Aquarius. It's like it's all spinning around you, but it's fitting together. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, here's this bad behavior over here. Here's this over here. It's manifesting now with me sometimes. I need to figure this out. So that's what you're going to do with the Hanged Man. You may be taking a time out from everybody and just... And the good thing is that this is necessary because the other runes you have, Weird and Bjork, Wunyo, Kanes, these are all about if you take the time out to assess, to express, maybe for the first time, this behavior is not okay with me. If you do that, that can lead to a wonderful new beginning. But yeah, there's a lot of acknowledging and admitting and, you know, not letting someone get away with it or get out of it or make excuses. You're giving somebody too much rope here, Aquarius. Maybe more than one person. Or maybe it's repeating a pattern. Maybe you're repeating a pattern with your husband or wife that you experienced with your mom or dad or both. Or you're repeating a pattern with your own kids and you're like, I got to take a time out and figure out how to not do this, or maybe talk to somebody about how I can not do this. Get some tools to correct this. That sort of energy, Aquarius. So yeah, in February, I feel like you're working through some things, working through some issues, confronting some things, and they may not be easy things to confront because, you know, I feel like though for most of you, this is all kind of stemming from, because with you air signs, it's like your whole reading could just be going on in your head because you're just so, like, that's where everything happens, right? So, I mean, it could be actual events, but I feel more like this already happened. Maybe this happened over the holidays. Maybe it happened last month in January. And in February, it's like you're trying to deal with the fallout, put the pieces together. Like, why did that happen? You may even be thinking about the distant past. Again, because with this rune here, it can be like issues. And something in February could just trigger old issues. And make you think about that again, or make that come up for whatever reason. And because it's like they're wanting you to deal with it, or they're wanting you to look at it now, because maybe you are more equipped to deal with it or have a new way of handling it, a new perspective, like the Hanged Man says. So that's what I see for February here, Aquarius. Do the work, and I think you'll be happy with the result here, because you've got a lot of good runes if you do the work. Let's go over to Vimeo now. The link's below. Again, I'm going to pull one card from Nature's Whispers. And we'll see what further spiritual advice we can get for you about how to handle this. See what kernel of wisdom they have for you in February. Thanks so much for watching. Have a lovely Valentine's Day. Hopefully you can get this worked out before then and enjoy a nice dinner or movie or whatever you want to do. Best of luck to you, Aquarius, and I will see you back here next month.